This program was created by the Metal Building Manufacturers Association. MBMA provides research, leadership, and education to increase the prominence and use of metal building systems. With over 6 decades of industry leadership, MBMA is the only association dedicated to providing research and information that has changed the perception and quality of metal building systems. This program will help you understand some important elements of the industry, including the history of metal buildings, what is a metal building system today, the benefits they can provide over other forms of construction, the latest in energy-efficient insulation systems for metal buildings, the environmental impact of metal buildings and their sustainability. We'll also explore a few common misperceptions. So, when did the rise of metal buildings begin? It dates back to 1917 with the Austin Company in Cleveland, Ohio. They had 10 standard designs, which is where the term pre-engineered originated, since the designs were created in advance and were sold as an unmodifiable package. Then in the 20s and 30s, the oil boom in the West created the need for quick and simple-to-construct buildings to provide storage and basic shelters. The young but burgeoning metal building industry was quick to respond. The use of metal buildings increased during World War II when large metal buildings were used for aircraft hangars, but most people identify early metal buildings with the venerable Quonset hut. Between 150,000 and 170,000 of them were constructed and in use by the end of the war. They were highly effective because they could be constructed quickly by military personnel and could serve multiple purposes. What happened next changed the face of the construction industry, the rapid growth of industrialization. The manufacturers that had produced all those Quonset huts needed to shift directions because their main customer, the U.S. Army, no longer needed the building inventory once the war ended. At that time, building manufacturers began producing low-cost, quickly installed factory buildings that satisfied the post-war economic boom. They were actually called boom factories. The structures were relatively inexpensive utilitarian buildings that served an important purpose. They housed the machinery, systems, and workforce that would provide the products and services that fueled America's rise to prominence as a world superpower. This utilitarian role is still foremost in the minds of some designers today, but metal building technology has evolved to allow for much more. A metal building system is a custom-engineered steel solution that optimizes and integrates steel framing, roofing, and walls. It is the most popular low-rise commercial building solution in America. The basic elements of the metal building system are primary frames, which are the structural steel members, secondary roof members, which include cold-form steel purlins or steel joists, secondary wall members that are cold-form steel girts, a metal roof, and wall cladding systems. While the interiors and exteriors can look completely different based on the owner's requirements, the basic elements of a metal building system remain constant: rigid frames, wall girts, roof purlins, cladding, and bracing. These common elements provide for economy without hampering design flexibility and creativity in the end product. One thing that distinguishes metal building systems is their surprising variety due to the flexibility allowed through different combinations of wall materials. In fact, it can be difficult to identify a building as a metal building system from the street. Since the structural steel frame bears the load, there are options for architectural or industrial metal walls, brick, glass, wood, masonry, EIFS, tilt-up, and insulated steel wall panels or other materials. Metal buildings have evolved from standardized designs to custom designs for every single building produced. Metal building systems employ advanced computer-based engineering and drafting technology to create building solutions that align with each customer's exact needs. One important attribute is design flexibility. The buildings allow for impressive clear spans, eave heights, and easy expansion for a range of building sizes. In using this type of framing system, there are buildings today with clear spans in excess of 400 feet. Large clear span spaces are needed for many applications. For example, metal buildings make practical facilities for housing aircraft and for performing aircraft maintenance. Such wide open spaces are equally valuable for manufacturing, warehouses, and showrooms. The high eave heights also make for a popular solution for recreation facilities, as well as university, pro football, soccer, and baseball team practice facilities. Speed of delivery is a key advantage with a metal building. Building information modeling is used by metal building manufacturers to contribute to the overall efficiency of the project and to help integrate and visualize other systems within the building project. Once the building is designed, it can be manufactured in as little as 2 weeks. On a job site, they can be erected quickly. The parts and pieces of the complete metal building package are delivered as a single-source package to the job site and received by a qualified erector who shakes out the shipment of materials to ensure everything has arrived. Once the project is staged on the ground, the metal building shell goes up much faster than conventional construction. Metal building system manufacturing firms that are members of MBMA are accredited under the International Accreditation Services AC 472 Inspection Program for Manufacturers of Metal Building Systems. AC 472 is a comprehensive accreditation program based on the requirements of the International Building Code. Building owners have found that purchasing a building from an accredited manufacturer provides many benefits. These include compliance with the special inspection requirements in Chapter 17 of the International Building Code, expedited acceptance of plans by code officials, better protection for occupants and contents, lower insurance rates, lower maintenance and utility costs, and better resale value. Each metal building is designed using lighter cross-sections and higher strength steel than conventionally framed buildings. The optimized tapered steel building frames and the strength and efficiency of lightweight roof and wall framing require less material. Hybrid structures, which incorporate other building materials such as tilt-up walls, can be designed to take advantage of the benefits of metal building systems. By integrating conventional cladding and exteriors, more design opportunities arise. A metal building's metal roof can last for many decades. Compared to other roofing materials, metal roofs have extended lifespans, typically 40 years or more, and are completely recyclable when they finally need to be replaced. Metal buildings and metal roofs do not support mold growth, do not rust or decay, and are designed to accommodate temperature fluctuations. In addition, standing seam metal roofs are excellent platforms for attaching solar panels. The panels can be easily attached to upright standing seams using non-penetrating clamps. Furthermore, the long life of a metal roof will outlast the life of the solar panels and eliminate costs and complications of re-roofing with an in-place solar grid. Life cycle costs include the initial cost and required maintenance. When these are factored into the overall value of a roof, metal standing seam roofs are proven to be the most economical investment. As you can see in this analysis, metal roofing provides consistent long-term savings. Most studies have shown that a metal roof system will have a life expectancy of 40 to 50 years, long outlasting conventional roofing systems, which average 10 to 15 years. Now let's address how metal buildings can provide energy-efficient solutions and minimize environmental impact. When considering the environment, you may not know that steel is the most recycled material on the planet, and that a typical metal building is produced from between 50 and 55% recycled steel. In addition, recycled steel production requires significantly less energy than conventional steel production. Here are some additional interesting facts. Metal buildings generate just 6% in scrap material, and even that is reused or recycled. Building erection is much faster than conventional construction, by about 30%. Metal building design and construction processes are more efficient, by some 25%. Job site waste is minimal, because the primary building components are manufactured in a quality-controlled factory setting, so all parts come to the site at the exact size that is needed. MBMA has funded extensive research related to the environmental impacts of metal building systems. Most recently, MBMA sponsored a third-party verified life cycle assessment. In addition, through collaboration with the Athena Sustainable Materials Institute and UL Environment, MBMA developed an industry-wide life cycle assessment report and 3 industry-wide environmental product declarations for designers to use when specifying MBMA member products. A life cycle assessment comparison of buildings with different structural and envelope materials was produced independently by the engineering firm of Walter P. Moore and Associates. The resulting report concluded that metal buildings showed lower environmental impacts in all 6 metrics when comparing structural and envelope materials to load-bearing masonry walls, concrete tilt-up and steel frame construction of the same building footprint, and functional equivalents. All of these environmental documents are available for free download at mbma.com. Another energy attribute with metal buildings is that they are eligible for the U.S. Green Building Council's LEED points. As you can see in this chart, metal buildings alone can provide up to 24 LEED points of the 40 or more needed for certification. This obviously makes metal a very attractive choice for any environmentally conscious client. There are numerous fiberglass insulation systems that can be used in metal buildings that meet or exceed energy code requirements and also provide sound absorption for use in occupancies like offices or schools. Fiberglass insulation systems are available to insulate between metal panels and purlins and girts, and as efficient fiberglass assemblies can fill the cavity between purlins and girts. A summary of available systems can be found in the MBMA Energy Design Guide for Metal Building Systems, 2nd edition, as well as in the MBMA Guide for Metal Building Contractors on Energy Code Compliance, which is available as a free download at www.mbma.com. In addition, MBMA has sponsored extensive testing on the acoustical performance of these systems, which can also be found at mbma.com. Insulated metal panels are available that serve as the building envelope while providing energy efficiency. This slide shows you some of the attributes of factory insulated metal panels. No gaps, no cavities, no crushed insulation. In addition, hidden fasteners provide a sleek look. Textured coatings also offer design opportunities. In recent years, lighter colored roofs reduce heat absorption and energy usage in sunnier climates. Premium cool coatings for metal substrates provide improved reflectivity, which helps reduce energy consumption. In fact, the coating increases the reflectivity of medium to darker colors to a level that will meet the Energy Star program specifications for cool roofs. Research from the U.S. Department of Energy shows that 1 additional percentage of reflectivity in a coating on average will reduce roof temperature by 1 degree. So, you can see how valuable the improved product technology becomes. Cool metal roofing will last for decades without colors fading, and the surface of metal roofs is resilient and resists dirt and biological buildup, which keeps a metal roof cool longer than other roof types where soil and algae can form. Now let's address misperceptions that have spilled over from the Quonset hut days. Perhaps you've heard some of these myths. Now you can hear what's accurate. Will a metal building limit your flexibility? No. Every metal building is unique and customized to the needs of each owner. Each can incorporate virtually any dimension, so meeting a company's special needs is not a high-priced add-on. A metal building structural system provides maximum flexibility to create a variety of floor plan configurations: L's, U's, squares, rectangles, and more. Column-free interior space allows complete freedom in the design of showrooms, offices, retail space, and so much more. In addition, the steel spans of a metal framing system are designed to easily reconfigure building areas, allowing quick accommodation for changes in function, ownership, equipment, and regulations. Ease of expansion can be built right into the original design. Mechanical additions and interior electrical layout alternatives are also feasible because of the framing advantages. Will they limit your creativity? Absolutely not. Metal buildings often receive design awards. In addition to traditional metal panels, the exteriors can be clad in almost any material, including brick, precast concrete, stone, wood, aluminum, or glass. On the interior, metal buildings provide easy adaptability, with the steel spans allowing for creative and interchangeable interior designs. Neil Van Loo, with Blaine's Farm and Fleet, acknowledged the myth when he said, quote, "Our architect was against using a metal building system because he thought the design would be a square, fixed-dimension tin box. We had to sit down and review the plans with him in order for him to realize the benefits of a metal building system," unquote. Do metal buildings have climate limitations? Not at all. MBMA has sponsored research to evaluate the performance of metal buildings under extreme loads, such as drifting snow, earthquakes, and hurricane-force winds. For example, full-scale metal buildings were subjected to severe earthquakes beyond the code requirements in shake table tests at the University of California, San Diego, and performed beyond expectations with no collapse. Metal buildings can be designed for the environmental loads that are specified in the governing code, or any other specified loading that may be pertinent to a project. Do you or your client think that metal buildings can't meet your needs? Today, just about any 1- or 2-story facility can be suitable for metal. Consider that metal buildings are used for a variety of amazing facilities, from indoor skydiving space to entire corporate campuses. What distinguishes this type of construction today is its surprising aesthetic variety, due to the flexibility allowed through different combinations of a system's basic elements. And then there are zoning ordinances. Because today's metal buildings offer so many options for exterior facades, zoning boards have changed with the times. In fact, zoning boards are now approving and permitting metal building systems for all types of end-use applications. If you need help in educating your zoning board, MBMA has resources and people to help you. Is tilt-up concrete construction compatible with metal buildings? Of course. The use of steel framing in a building does not rule out using concrete walls. In large or sophisticated projects, different raw materials and construction methods are frequently used together. For example, a large steel office building or retail center may use tilt wall concrete for exterior facades, or masonry block walls as interior fire separation walls. A distribution center might use concrete blocks but add a steel roofing system and a rigid frame similar to what a traditional metal building would use. This photo is a clear and elegant example of how the two construction types can merge to create a building solution that meets project requirements. With a metal building, what can't you do? From office buildings to healthcare clinics to retail stores and manufacturing, the options are limited only by the inventive skill of the architect. Examples of creative opportunities include sloped roofs, decorative columns, clear-story roofs, and daylighting elements. Material colors and textures allow intriguing options for defining mass, space, proportion, and symmetry. The options are up to you. In summary, metal building systems have tremendous advantages over conventional forms of construction, provide total design flexibility, and are faster in all stages of the project, from design and fabrication to job site delivery, material staging, and construction. Last but not least, metal buildings are a sustainable solution that can meet the most stringent project specifications required by USGBC or Green Globes, and the industry has documented its performance through industry-wide environmental product declarations. Finally, no other industry documents its commitment to quality like the metal building industry. MBMA affiliated manufacturers are required to achieve AC 472 accreditation from the International Accreditation Service, which includes on-site plant audits twice each year. MBMA offers many resources for you. The association also has a membership category to specifically provide services and information to architects and engineers. Here are just a few of the free materials that MBMA offers to help you succeed. All are available on the MBMA website, mbma.com. I hope you'll keep learning about metal buildings and that you'll depend on MBMA for additional resources and assistance. Be sure to check out our educational and informative video library on YouTube and follow our ongoing research activities through social media venues.